Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you game 2 in a series excuse me, between Mouse Sports and EG. Game 2 taking place now. We now have Mouse 6 spawning as the green Zerg player. Once again, we have the yellow Terran, who is Ghosta, playing against EG Axlav, who is already moving out with a very early probe. And this may be a cheese attempt by Axlav to try to put the final nail in the coffin and get the win off very, very early. We'll see what's going to be happening here as the probe now comes in along the far side, and if it's able to warp in a pylon and set up something, that's going to work out very, very well. We already see one SCV now coming down, and now we'll be building a supply depot on the front door. No barracks yet, as there is obviously no supply depot in time. This pylon, though, going to be warped in here and just simply sit there for a little bit of time as Axlab now supply locked, as he has to wait for this pylon to finish warping in, but it will allow him to get in 2 additional gateways rather quickly. As soon as this pylon is done, one gateway will go down, another gateway will come in just a moment. And it's going to be a double gateway rush with Zealots and maybe even Zerglings. Yes, the Zergling spawning pool about 2/3 of the way completed. And as soon as this one SCV comes up the ramp and sees pretty much an early spawning pool, he has to come back over here and figure out what's happening over here, as well as the double gateways are now down and almost about to be done warping in. It's already about 30 seconds left as the SCV wandering around here. The spawning pool is already up, and as soon as this gets spotted down, he has to be a little bit concerned, as a lot of Zerglings may be trained up. Yeah, 6 Zerglings already being queued up here, and an SCV now wandering around back and forth. Back and forth. We have the EG now making his way with the probe into the base over here. And now wandering around inside this base. Let's see what's going to be happening, as we now have 1 Zealot already being chrono boosted out and 6 Zerglings on the way out. And I actually don't know if I remembered if to update that score actually correctly. And now we can see Sick making his way out with this one Overlord, and he does see the double gateways now, but it may be too little too late, as the Marines are now making their way out. 6 Zerglings already coming in, a factory and a supply depot already coming into play as well. But the Zerglings already trying to fight back there, and now it's going to be 6 Zerglings against another group of Zerglings here, and with no additional Zealots coming out. EG actually looking a little bit sloppy in that play, as EG now trying to come back and trying to get some damage onto those Zerglings here. The metabolic boost about to be completed for Mouse, so Mouse is going to get the metabolic boost first, and that is going to be very, very detrimental, as the Zerglings should really be trying to fight next to a Zealot in order to get a better way to deal more damage. We are going to get 1 Spine Crawler up and running already, as the Zerglings now battling it out after that Zealot there. It looks like that Zealot will take even more damage, not going to get flanked back around. Spine Crawler is almost completed. Drones now trying to come over to try to lend a little support there, and now that Spine Crawler is up and running with 2 additional armor. And now it looks as though Mouse is in a very, very dominant position here, as Zealots are just getting picked apart, and the drones are able to wander around pretty freely and now essentially go back and mine more minerals. We do have 1 Zealot sitting over here, another Zealot sitting here, and now finally going into a Cybernetics core and getting an assimilator back down. The Hellions now coming in as well, and just 1 Hellion is going to be able to just run circles around those other units, and 1 Hellion looking to just chase away all of these Zealots here. A lot of damage going to be dealt, and you can see that those Marines just doing such a good job. The Marines are going to back off a little bit, as the Zerglings once again coming back in, and a second Hellion. So 2 Hellions being split up in 2 separate groups. A lot of micro, as these Zerglings just running around in circles. And there we go, finally those Hellions able to get a lot of splash damage across multiple Zerglings, and now once again going to re-engage as a 3rd Hellion going to join in on this battle. And it looks like EG, after playing a very, very strong game 1, going to lose this game here, as the longer this game goes, the cheese is not going to work out nearly as well, and then the drones are going to, the SCVs and the drone count actually about even, so it's not that much different at all. Zerglings quickly getting toasted once more, and now perhaps the barracks going to be built on the front door here, as the Hellions looking to come back over here and finish off these buildings. No, those buildings are not going to get finished off. Not quite sure why. Those Hellions now perhaps looking to put some pressure and deal some damage of their own. There are 2 Zealots down over here, but these 2 Hellions of Geist may actually deal a lot more damage there, as we also have a reactor over here, double training Hellions once more, and the Hellions gonna run straight into the base. We can see Stalkers now trying to make their way out, but the probes are gonna have to run for their lives very, very quickly, but they cannot run in a single file line like that. Otherwise, the damage is gonna just take them out, and there you go. That is why you do not run probes in a straight line to chase after units. Zergling's now trying to come over as well to lend some supporting claws and a hand, but so many probes have already been taken down. Taking a look at the unit count, 14 probes now. So Axlab, his economy has taken a severe hit, and going to take an even more severe hit as Zerglings making their way over and pecking apart at these gateways. Those gateways will get taken down, but Hellions once again out to rejoin and try to take down these Zerglings here, and another round of Zerglings just getting absolutely toasted once more. The Zerglings trying to catch up to those Hellions. The Hellions do have to stop for a decent amount of time, getting a little bit of damage across those Hellions continually, as the Marines also going after those additional units there, and it looks like those Marines are going to finish it off, and this other Overlord will get destroyed. The gateways have been cleaned up, and now Axlab only running off of 2 gateways, warp gate, so it's going to be 3 warp gates to try to power his way through the rest of this battle. Stalkers now coming in to try to engage, as well as EG doing a little bit of a counter push here, but those Hellions move so quickly that perhaps those Zealots are going to have an even further and further problem, and now trying to run back. Army-wise, 600, 450. Okay, this game is still too close to call, but we are going into Cloaked Banshees. So now with Ghost getting Cloaked Banshees and no sign of... No, an Evolution Chamber now coming online, so we should be getting a Spore Colony in just a moment. Or sorry, Spore Crawler in just a moment. And we also have an Observer as well, so very, very nice game sense there, as the Hellions and Zerglings just dealing so much damage. The Zerglings there to counter the Stalkers, the Hellions there to counter everything else that is light and under the sun, and so much damage being dealt. The Queen just getting toasted so quickly, and even the Hellions can probably just try to come back and try to re-engage, as the Stalkers are really can't move out of position there, and the Hellions, and now a Banshee coming in as well, and that Banshee going after the Queen, gonna get taken down. Down it goes. It was able to get off a Spawn Larva as its last dying effort, and now Zerglings running straight into the base of Axlab, as those Zerglings are gonna swarm around, get some damage onto those Zealots there. You can see that the Stalkers are coming in. One Spore Colony gonna get destroyed here. As that Spore Colony is down, this one Banshee will be able to get even more and more damage, trying to take down that Spore Colony once more, getting some drone kills instead. And EG losing a lot of their drones here, losing a lot of their probes here, as the units are now once again regrouping. The Observer was able to come over the Stalker, getting off that final shot, but with only 6 drones and no Queen, there's not much really Strife Crow can really do to get back into this game. The unit discrepancy now 28 SCVs, 8 drones versus 14 and 7. So it looks like Ghost has more than the other two players' workers combined, as the Banshee now coming in along the far side once more. The Banshee getting up to 10 kills already, and now being forced to pull back there. So more and more probes just falling left and right. 16 probes versus a total of 36, a difference of 20 workers at this stage, as the Stalkers are just trying to deal with army units coming in from both sides. Zerglings now once again trying to swarm in around. It looks like they were almost got a decent surround there, and at some point, not Mouse Tosh, Ghost is going to move out with these Marauders, and those Marauders are just going to deal so much damage. Siege tanks, the Marauders, such a strong counter towards those Stalkers here. There are some decent Zealots as well, but as soon as the concussive shells are researched, that is going to be even more damage dealt. Combat Shield also being researched as well. Not quite sure why. I don't see that many Marines at all, as they have all been funneled. All the additional minerals have been funneled into Hellions. Zerglings now making their way out. Two Hellions with the rest of those Zerglings, and now an Observer in play. So the Observer is still wandering around, seeing the large number of Marauders. Has to be very, very careful about what units they now train. 2 additional medevacs in addition to a command center being placed down, and EG definitely behind the 8 ball at this stage, as Zerglings swarming the destructible rocks and will be taking them down in just a moment. We can now see Sick most likely trying to power drone his way back into this game. No, not power droning still. Perhaps he should consider, yeah, going to go ahead and start power droning now. No, going after more Zerlings once more. So going for... Okay. Okay, so apparently EG Axab has now left the game due to a disconnect. So this is going to be even more difficult. This is going to be even more difficult for EG to try to fight back. There's going to be a lot more micro coming into this battle here as the Marauders now coming in. And now there's also a full medevac. Not quite sure why that medevac is completely full at all. Finally unloading all of those units and now timing the attack just perfectly. Axlab unable, or Stripecrow unable to get the force field down in time. And now there's the GG by Stripecrow. So yes, it was Axlab and Stripecrow taking game 1. Ghost and Sick now taking game 2, which will force a game 3 in this matchup. Stay tuned for game 3 between Axlab and Stripecrow versus Ghost and Sick. The link is in the description. It will take you to an unlisted game 3 and anti-spoiler. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 2v2 matchup.